A lot going on today with a couple of storm systems moving into the area. Each one will bring in more snow and cold. We're not talking about significant accumulations, but we're talking about a lot of wind and cold to move in, and that'll make it a little rough on some of the roadways. Not quite as bad in the metro, but in western Minnesota, open areas, the snow will really be blowing around. We're already seeing that in a few spots. Some of those squalls could really drop the visibility quickly. Definitely a nuisance in those spots of the state. So far, we have winter weather advisories, National Weather Service, including Bemidji, St. Cloud, and Mankato, and points westward. For that rough inch of snow, but gusts 40 miles an hour or higher will really cause some travel impacts and slow things down. We obviously as well have some advisories here around Lake Superior, and even warnings downstream of the lake where more than a foot could fall up into northern Wisconsin. This is the road report from a little while ago, and you can see already we have some pretty slippery conditions in southwest Minnesota, almost up to New Ulm, stretching to Windham and Jackson. Actually, parts of Highway 71 and Highway 2 and a few other roads in northwest Minnesota, travel is not advised. This is a shot from a few hours ago around 8:30, Grand Forks, or east of Grand Forks. It's East Grand Forks and west of Crookston. Highway 2, it's very open there. Used to take that stretch when I went to college in Grand Forks at UND, and wow, a couple of times, if you weren't ready for it, it could come at you. A wind coming right in your car with the northwest wind if you're heading westward, and of course a lot of blowing snow. And this visibility actually isn't that bad. You can see at least a half mile, and that could drop though significantly in the next little bit. Our wind will also come up here in the Twin Cities, gusts higher than 25-30 miles an hour. That'll blow around the snow when some of these flurries and snow showers move through. Oh, by the way, let me go back to that real quick. Look what else happens. The wind, yes, it comes up, the snow showers are around, but the temperatures drop. We're at our high point of the day from 30-31 this morning. We now are just falling and will drop into the teens throughout later this afternoon and stay on the very cold side here as we look through the weekend. More snow showers on Sunday. The wind will really rev up on Sunday. At times, there'll be gusts higher than 40 miles an hour in spots of the state. That'll produce more blowing snow. And of course, statewide, it looks very cold no matter what you may have planned to do, or if you're in some of these cities, we are talking about some bitter cold. Not quite so bad today. Today's the transition day from the warm air this morning to the cold. And then the cold just sits around for this weekend. And of course, we'll have snow and blowing snow and very, very cold wind chills. Made it to 31 in the metro yesterday, southwest Minnesota, where not much snow on the ground, if anything. It was up into the low 40s with 20s in western Wisconsin. Now notice from those lows to highs, it really didn't move much. The temperature will just be dropping, and it already is in northwest Minnesota. So we are talking about a lot of cold air coming in through the area over the next couple of days. So again, this morning, we kind of have been falling, so we will see this number go down for the low of the day. Our averages, there you go, that puts it into perspective. We're much above average this morning, but when you think about this weekend, those temperatures you just saw down into the single digits, we're not talking record levels by any means, but we are talking about significantly below average air and much, much colder than what we've seen here over the last several days. Let's widen out the view before we get back close to home and kind of key in what will be happening closer on into the weekend when we talk about the wind, cold, and snow. Our low pressure center is spinning away, and notice there's like little spokes of energy coming ahead of each wave. Satellite from earlier on showing lake effect snows. They'll be blown away in parts of northwest Wisconsin, especially Ladysmith, Hayward on northward, and then of course all the way through Michigan's UP. A few snow showers bursting around through southern Minnesota, especially western Minnesota, here with the low curling around. And in some of these darker blue areas, that's where the squalls are trying to happen. They have been happening. They did last night in northwest Minnesota, and they can really lower back the visibility. Notice this wave moving through on into Michigan as well. And as this burst moves across from Wisconsin, that will kick up the lake effect snow machine for much of Michigan, with several inches on the way and advisories and warnings in those areas. And already seeing lake effect snows downstream from Lake Huron, Erie, and Ontario just starting up, and they will continue on through the weekend. Now, of course, with the low moving in, the wind will shift around, so those bands of lake effect snow will kind of shift as well. But throughout, of course, much of upstate New York, downstream again from Lakes Erie and Ontario and into Ohio, there will be areas of lake effect snow. On into the northeast, by the way. I want to go back and look at the northeast. There you go. This low is kind of pulling out. There's scattered flurries and snow showers with it. And of course, the next one will move in. So that'll cloud it back up and bring in a few flurries and snow showers. Warm for the next few days in the northeast, but of course the cold air will arrive later on into this weekend. Into the southeast, it's very, very quiet. A strong ridge of high pressure is keeping the weather very tranquil down here compared to what it was several days ago. Don't have a lot of activity going on. The big old high keeping the storm systems to the north. This is the next front that's set to move in into the southern plains. It'll take it a while to do so, and a lot of its energy will stay to the north, like it is here throughout the southern plains. So the central plains front trying to move into the Ohio and Tennessee Valley with a few snow showers and maybe some rain mixed. That energy will move into the mid-Atlantic states. It will try to push southeastward, but it won't have a lot of success doing so. The jet stream just not strong enough as of yet. As we look back through into the southwestern U.S., it is very, very quiet as well. For a change, instead of the unsettled conditions and the very active jet stream, that is not the case out here into the southwest. The jet much, much quieter, so not nearly as much energy going on in the southwest. Temperatures actually heating up. Even the desert areas, it'll be well into the 70s. So readings really starting to climb. A nice stretch of weather from the four corners out throughout the southwest and back into the Pacific. And even in the northwest, we notice a lot of our mountainous areas are getting a break from seeing snow. Nothing falling in the Cascades or the Sierra. Even the Wasatch is rather quiet, and the Tetons aren't really seeing much snow as well. Even into parts of the Rockies, just a little bit with this wave as it's coming through. But the majority of its energy is staying up here where we are, of course, on into the upper Midwest. So the snow generally staying away from most of the western part of the U.S., and that means a quieter weekend, and temperatures will start to warm up. Okay, back closer to home. Couple of things to talk about here. Of course, we have wind, we have cold, and we have snow. And I'll break down each part for you. The wind is just starting to pick up now. Eastern Minnesota, eventually western Wisconsin. It already is doing so in western Minnesota. Gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour. Through the rest of the afternoon and on into the evening, notice the stronger breeze pushes eastward as the front and the low pressure center drops to the south. So we will be talking about northwest winds, 30 miles an hour or higher. That's why we'll be seeing, of course, some blowing snow, lots of lake effect snow. Perfect for that lake effect snow to form as the wind crosses the lakes and bubbles up the clouds in the open water. It's so much colder up at cloud level, and that just pours out the snow, especially when you have good jet stream energy and a good amount of moisture. Not as much moisture here across the rest of the state, so it's just wind, and we are talking about a good amount of wind. Here is Saturday morning, still 25, 30, 35 mile an hour gusts. Quite a change from what we've seen the last few days with that cold air moving in. The wind will start to die down Saturday night. It's just temporary, but it will come down a little Saturday night ahead of the next system. That already starts to move in Sunday morning, and when it does, you will know it. Look at those gusts, 30 to near 50 miles an hour, the forecast gusts here on Microcast. Not bad in the morning in the Twin Cities, kind of like this morning, other than it'll be colder, but check it out by midday. 30, 40, and a few spots approaching near 50 mile an hour gusts throughout the state. Western Wisconsin, the stronger wind moves in for you in the late afternoon and into the evening. Still several 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts right on through Sunday night. Monday, it won't be as breezy, but we're still looking at 25 to 35 mile an hour gusts. Sustained winds 10 to 15, wind chills down well below zero. Matter of fact, that's what we'll look at now. That's part two. We'll talk about the cold. We're transitioning today. The wind chills here in northwest Minnesota overnight, they were way above zero. They've dropped 20 to 30 degrees and will continue to fall throughout the day. Wind chills dumping down 15 to 25 below. We will see single-digit below zero wind chills even by midnight tonight. So everybody negative side by late afternoon, I should say this evening into early Saturday morning. We pull into Saturday afternoon and evening, wind chills 10 to 20 below for everybody. But this isn't the heart of the cold air. It's just the first little burst of it. Matter of fact, the wind chill's not as bad even into Sunday morning. Temperatures may rise a little bit after bottoming out Saturday night. That's, of course, ahead of that next burst of wind and snow. Here it comes. Saturday evening, 10, 20 to 30 below wind chills, and the second burst just reinforces it right on into Monday morning. 20 to 30 below wind chills. Again, it's not that the wind will be howling a lot. The gusts will have backed away from those 40 to 50 mile an hour ranges, more towards 20 to 30. But we'll already have below zero temperatures and in the teens below up north, so the wind chills will really drop substantially. 20 to 30 below and stay at least in the teens to 20s below, even near 30 below, through midday on Monday. Then it starts to come back up into Tuesday. Okay, here's part 3. We are talking the snow showers. This is the least organized part of the storm just because it doesn't have a lot of moisture. But again, an inch of snow with 40 mile an hour winds makes travel rather difficult. Not a lot of fun. Definitely a nuisance or more. So throughout the morning, here's some of the snow showers moving through. A lot of lake effect snow again here in northern Wisconsin, UP and Michigan, and even some of it initially along the North Shore. Through this evening, there's more snow showers kicking up during the day. Less snow showers this evening, but still some lingering flurries tomorrow morning. Lake effect snows again up north. Tomorrow afternoon, the clouds break up temporarily, but you already see that next storm system lurking back here into North Dakota. And as it moves in, that's when the wind starts to come up. And of course, some snow showers. Notice it's temporarily the southerly wind. That's why the wind chills weren't as cold. That's why the temperature will expect to rise maybe even a little late Saturday night into Sunday morning. But as quick as the temperature comes up, once the wind turns around right here to the northwest on the burst of snow, that's when the cold wind chills will duck in, the 40 mile an hour winds will arrive, and of course the temperature will tumble. So there you go with the burst of snow. Again, maybe an inch-ish or so Sunday afternoon, I should say Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. Here's the low up aloft coming around. There's the wind curving in from the northwest. Classic Clipper type storm with the cold front on us Sunday morning, and that transition to much, much colder air. Again, notice the snow isn't around long. 6, 7 a.m. to maybe midday. That's why we won't see a lot of it. It quickly moves in, but here's when those stronger winds arrive with the northwesterly flow and the temperature really starts to dump down. So today, falling temps, we've already hit the 31, some intervals of snow and flurries and a stronger northwest wind, tumbling temperatures here in western Minnesota. Again, all of these readings already have been hit for the day. We're falling now. Snow showers and colder tonight. Metro, we drop to 6, outer Minnesota below 0, and again, northwest winds 10 to 15, but at times gusts to 30. It will be below 0 in western Minnesota, just above 0 as you look into eastern Minnesota, and some low teens on into western Wisconsin. Well, tomorrow, there could be some leftover flurries in the morning. Looks cold and breezy for the afternoon. Notice our low was 5 or 6. We come back up to maybe 9 or 10, and the wind will be howling out of the northwest 10 to 20, and again, some gusts at times to near 30 miles an hour. Statewide, it is a cold day into the teens in western Wisconsin. Single digits throughout most of Minnesota, but a few spots may have a tough time getting up above 0, especially up into the northwest. All right, on Sunday, it will be warmer temporarily. In the morning, that's when a lot of these temperatures will be achieved. 15, 10 degrees eastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin. Western Minnesota, single digits. Again, the wind will be howling. We'll have a burst of snow. And of course, the temperatures will drop after that. As you look at the 6 to 10 day forecast, we might be in this stretch of cold air for a while. potentially for the rest of the month. As you can see, these colder than normal temperatures are expected in that 6 to 10 day outlook with the jet stream path down to our south. Precipitation wise, we'll be pretty close to normal, maybe a smidge back above normal, but not too far from it. Let's get back to the 7-day forecast here for you. So again, that was from the 6 to 10, where we'll definitely be running colder. Today, the warmest day. Much colder for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, some of the snow and quite a bit of wind. Bitter wind chills for Monday, and just a little warmer mid next week.